talkSPORT.
2 minutes after 9 o'clock, listen, some real incredible sad news coming through. We heard just that Ehiogu had a heart attack. We're hearing now, Sky News are telling us that Ugo has passed away. So,
still only a young man.
Terrible. 2 minutes after 9. Man City fans. Pep Guardiola says the atmosphere was just dropped rapidly in the studio, by the way, but the Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast with Ford and my co-host Ray Wilkins. Incredibly sad breaking news this morning. Former England and Villa defender Ugo Ehiogu has died at the age of just 44 after suffering a cardiac arrest at Tottenham's training centre on Thursday. We're going to be paying tribute to Ugo this morning. Let's go to Toby Gillies in the studio.
Yeah, thanks, Al. This is just to confirm the details that you've been explaining there. Tottenham have announced in the last 10 minutes on their Twitter account, it is with immense sadness that we announce the passing of Ugo Ehiogu, our under-23 coach. They've released this following statement. Ugo received immediate treatment after suffering a cardiac arrest at the training centre yesterday before being transferred to hospital, where he passed away in the early hours of this morning. Head of coaching and player development John McDermott said, "Words cannot express the shock and sadness that we all feel at the club. Ugo's immense presence will be irreplaceable. Our heartfelt sympathies go out to his wife Gemma and his family." It goes on, the club sends its deepest condolences to Ugo's family. Gemma has specifically asked that the family are given privacy at this difficult time. We should also like to place on record our thanks to all the medical professionals, including those at North Middlesex University Hospital, Royal Brompton Hospital and Harefield Hospital for their care and support. So just to repeat the news that's just come out of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, they say it is with immense sadness that they've announced the passing of the former England and Aston Villa defender Ugo Ehiogu, who had been recently working as Tottenham's under-23 coach.
Terrible. Let's hear a little bit from Toby Gillies. We spoke to Toby earlier.
A talented and tough centre-half, Ugo Ehiogu's impressive career began just as the Premier League arrived and grew with it. The Londoner spent his formative years in the Midlands with West Brom, but it was at nearby rivals Aston Villa where he really made his name. A 9-year spell at the club saw him form a formidable partnership with Villa legend Paul McGrath. They regularly finished near the top, and he picked up the first 2 of 3 League Cup winners' medals with them in 1994 and 96. An England debut followed, and it was only down to the country's strength in depth in his position that his international career was restricted to 4 caps. His only goal fittingly coming at Villa Park in a win over Spain. Joining Middlesbrough in 2000, 7 more years at the top followed, winning another League Cup in 2004 and playing with them in consecutive UEFA Cup campaigns before ending his career with spells at Leeds, Rangers and Sheffield United. Passionate about music, Ehiogu also had a life away from the pitch, in particular when he found a record label, Dirty Hit, which still runs successfully today. But Ehiogu couldn't stay away from football for long. Joining Tottenham in 2014 to work with their talented youngsters, he's credited with playing a key role in bringing a number into Maurizio Pochettino's first team, through many of whom his legacy will live on.
He didn't have a bad word to say about anyone, Ugo. And the thing was, he was a character in his own way. You know, he was a great leader. You know, him and his size. You know, you'd expect him to be vocal in the change room, and he was. you know, I always used to look back at and look at Hugo, so that centre half spot, and think, you know, I feel comfortable having him behind me, because he was. I mean, not many guys would get past him. You know, his presence, his size, his strength, and he wanted to do it. He wanted to work, and he wanted to learn all the way through.
Yeah, so sad. That was former Villa midfielder Lee Hendry, and I really appreciate Lee coming on a very sad hour, speaking to us earlier on the Sports Breakfast. Sad news this morning. Former Villa, Borough and England defender Ugo Ehiogu has died of a heart attack at just the age of 44 after collapsing at Tottenham's training ground. We heard some warm tributes, Ray, but maybe this is lovely. Maybe Ugo's last tweet will give people a glimpse of how decent a man he was. Take a listen to this, Ray. This is Ugo's last tweet. Gave a homeless girl a tenner last night in Dalston in North London. She didn't ask or beg. Random impulsive act from me. Not going to lie, it felt good. Do something kind, hashtag. Lovely, eh?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Probably we don't do enough of that, do we, in our everyday life? So that was nice.
Can't believe it. You know, I think everyone that's been associated with Hugo, knowing what a great guy he was, like I said, on and off the pitch, you know, he's absolutely mortified. I mean, God knows what their family's going through at the moment. It's such a shame.
You couldn't wish to meet anybody that looks like health personified. When you met Hugo, he was such a specimen and such a figure and such a fantastic, healthy-looking guy. You couldn't imagine someone less likely to have passed away in this sort of way. It's just such a great shame.
The guy was a giant for Villa as a player, and as a person he was even bigger. And it's been a sad day for football, but everyone will remember Hugo for the right reasons, not just his football.
He didn't look like getting it, did he? Not at all. And Ehiogu has made it 3. 20 minutes to go. Well, yet again, the keeper stayed at home, and when he did come out, didn't look like getting there.
Just his physically imposing nature when you played against it, and very tough, very hard, very athletic. And then I had the privilege to meet him about a year ago, but the way that he was didn't go with the aggressive person who was on the pitch. Very understated, very calm, very humble, very knowledgeable. I was only his presence in his company for probably about 45 minutes to an hour, and you just come away and you think, what a nice geezer. It's really impressive, the way that he spoke, the way he conducted himself. Yeah, it's just still shocked, really.
I'm still devastated. I mean, he was such a top bloke, it was unbelievable. I mean, he was a man mountain. What Lee just said. You know what? Billy Joel sings about the song, Only the Good Die Young.
Paul Merson on Sky Sports News earlier. The emotion is clear. Lee Hendry was in there as well, Andy Townsend, Tony Cascarino, Perry Groves with his reflections as well on Hugo Ehiogu, who died today after suffering a cardiac arrest while coaching at Spurs yesterday. One of the most touching things I've seen is some tweets from some of the Spurs youngsters he coached. Josh Onoma said this: way more than just a coach, a father figure as well, done so much for all of us boys. R.I.P. Hugo, see you soon. And Carl Walker-Peters, who's a youngster at Spurs, said, you were like a father figure to us all. Thank you for everything you've taught us on and off the pitch. R.I.P. Hugo, you will be missed.
Across the bridge where angels fly. Across the bridge where angels. Across the bridge.